Good morning and happy Sabbath. This is Miss T. I hope everyone had a good evening, woke up in good spirits, and spent some time with the Lord and is ready for your day. I had my did my 100th video upload. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, and I did my Cash App, and that was supposed to be the end of my uploads, which I still intend for it to be. I'm moving on to I'm going to be doing poetry and spoken word for I'm going to be working on that. I'm also going to be trying to get things together to start handing out or start helping the homeless during the winter season. But my heart and my mind has been really heavy, um, and when I feel heavy, I feel like it's the Holy Spirit just pushing or talking. um, I know that people are probably, people don't really want to hear, well, a lot of people don't really want to hear. I know there are people on this app, I know there's people in this world that believe the same thing that I believe. I know that there's people who are looking for the truth and just don't know which way to go. I know there are a lot of good people who don't really know what they believe at all, but they're just good people and they just, love other people. But my heart is so heavy. I don't watch the news, like I said, and I don't read any papers or anything. But what I do is sometimes I go through the app just to see if I can find something good that somebody's talking about. And I did find one. Well, not one. There were several, and I'm sure if people want to find that they can, but what is pushed out in your face is not the good stuff. Like the black physician, I believe he's the first physician. He was able to take a baby out of its mother's womb to do surgery on the, well, it wasn't a baby, it was it was a fetus. It wasn't an embryo, it was a fetus, to remove to do a life-saving surgery. He had to remove a tumor from the baby that would not have survived if it wasn't removed, while it was in the womb. And he was successful into removing the baby before it was due. Now it's a fetus. Removing the tumor, putting the baby back in, and the baby did thrive and was able to be born. He born when it was due. Well, a little bit before it was due, but he was able to save the baby's life. That's a black man first. But that that didn't hit a headline. Or there was a little black girl, they found out, and there's a lot of stories out there, that she's in 4th grade. She has her IQ matches Albert Einstein's, and there's a lot of black kids and people who have a high IQ. That story, it didn't hit any headline. So all we're going to see is what evil is in the world. I don't know that if it's good or bad. If it's good or bad. I don't know if it's showing people what this world is, what it's like. if it's letting people know that what God said is going to happen is happening. I don't know if it makes people feel like they have no, have no, puts people in doubt about their future, or what is life about, or what is there to live for. There was a young girl who went on to talk about how she's fighting with her mind about staying alive. Part of her brain tells her she needs to unalive herself, but she wants to live. And this was a fight within herself. She was fighting herself. She just was, a lot of things in her mind. She was wondering, what is life about? Why are we here? Why do things happen? What's going to happen after? How, just all kinds of things that were going through her mind. They did also say she had a little bit of mental illness, but she talked plainly. She talked like a person just wanted to understand, to someone to reach out and let her know what is the purpose, give her a purpose that she can say she's going to hold on to her life. Unfortunately, she ended it. She ended her life. And it's sad because I was thinking she had a channel, I believe, where she was just going live, that for those couple of days that she was going on and talking to people, no one reached out to her ever. No one said, I don't know you, but here's my number, give me a call. No one said, I want to pray with you. No one said, let's ask God. No one said, I want you to live because of you, who you are. No one. I try to stay away from things that just are just so negative, and I don't like people fighting. I don't like black people fighting amongst each other, or I especially, like I said, I care for all people, but I push on my people because I'm black. That's how I was born. That's who I was born. I'm black. So I understand and care about black struggles. That doesn't mean I don't care if a white person is reaching out for help, or is something's happening to them. Doesn't mean I would not try my best to help them or be on their side too. I just want my black people to understand that even though we are put down and beat down and have been through everything under the sun, that we have been treated the worst on this planet, that we have been just degraded and everything else, that we still are God's children. We are still loved. We are still important. We are still strong. We are still here. We are still intelligent. We are still mind-blowing people. You just if you sit and listen to a black professor, or you sit and listen to a poet, or a rapper who's rapping is really poetry. And I'm not talking about gangster rap. I'm talking about there's a rapper on here, his name is YJ, and his rapping is more, he raps about consciousness. But he puts it to, the music that he puts it to is like, you can hear, you can see what he's rapping. you can, and then the music calms you. So yeah, he's not screaming and he's not cussing, and he might have a few words or whatever, but he's stimulating your brain. It's YJ the author. So I've been knowing him for a while, and think he's a really good guy. He very intelligent, and he likes to put out positive messages. And so if you have a chance, I would suggest you go listen to his music. And yeah, but I'm just, what I don't understand, I do understand that God said that this world is going to get worse before we have a little bit of reprieve, where there's going to be, peace and quietness. But people are going to have to understand. We might go through so much, and then when that peace and quiet comes, we're so happy because we've been through it. But you'll have to understand that it's over. It's over. It's almost over. That day, that peace and quiet and that calm is here, and everybody's like thinking, oh, the world, maybe we're changing back to a good place, and this, that's not it. That's just the signs, the end sign before Jesus returns. God is not scary. Serving the Lord is not scary. Is not to take away from your life, from your independence, from you being who you are. Who really wants to be mean and hateful and evil? Do you think you were born that way? Do you think that they're babies? Babies are taught from birth, or not from birth, well, from birth with their parents, however they're treated. I believe some of it's environmental. I believe some of it's a lot of mixed stuff. You can come from a terrible home. You can be an abused child and come from a terrible home and become great. And I know that for a fact. I've told stories. I'm just going to say, my brother, we came from the same house, and it wasn't a good home. But my brother is a top lawyer in the city where he's from. So your mind, you can do whatever you want. Your mind will let you do that. So is it people are making choices based on their, some people can make up excuses for their behavior. You know what I'm saying? I act this way because I was treated this way. People did this to me. And I understand. I know that there's people who can't get beyond, can't fight the demons, can't heal. They do not know how to heal from trauma, and but the only way that you're going to heal is ask God, is to come to God. He will lead you wherever else. Yes, there's therapists. I personally, it's good to talk to people, but I wouldn't suggest that would be your only method of healing. There's good friends. If you have a good friend, tell that people. Tell your friend that you, and show your friend that you love them, that you're there for them. There's a lot of people out here today who have nobody, who are afraid to make friends because of how their so-called friends did them before. So they trust nobody. I don't really trust people either. But I'm not going to push anybody away and say everybody's just I just don't I can just tell. Some people have the mindset you can just meet somebody and tell automatically what that person is about, and sometimes it takes you a while to be around a person or whatever, but you can tell if that person is good for you or not. And what people need to stop doing is meeting people and telling their whole life story. Stop telling what they did bad back, what's their sins. They can't forgive you for them. Do you think they can get you into heaven? You tell them, you're so quick to tell strangers and people your sins, but you don't bring them to God to ask him to forgive you and to keep you from those sins. But we will. I don't know if it's looking for some type of I don't know, if we're just looking for some acceptance from people that will get out and tell horrible things that you've done in your life, and then wait to see how you're judged for it. I by no means have I ever said that I was better than anyone else in this world, that if I was better than anybody on this app. But I have been on different chats and got to know different people and got to hear different stories and got to see different things going on. And what I noticed is that most of the people on here have I don't know what word to use. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I don't want to make anyone upset. I don't want to make anyone if you sit back and you just listen and look, it's like some people, okay, I'm gonna say some people because it's really, you focus and but some people are really, really hurt. And they come on here and the hurt is put on or targeted towards people here. I don't know if the hurt was in the past. I don't know if the hurt is going on in present day, but it's like the hurt is making them want to lash out at people that they don't know. And it causes a lot of people. I've never in my whole entire life heard some of the most horrendous, horrible things said to people on this app, and it's to people that you don't even know. They didn't harm, they didn't do anything to you in your past. Now I understand, because I didn't know what, I don't get into things because I don't know what kind of relationship, what kind of past these people have, that they've said horrible things to each other, and they've said, said horrible things that make these people, that would make a person, want to do something to each other. But how do these people know so much about you? How do these people know to say these things, or to be able to throw these things up in your face, and to say these horrible things about your family, how do they know these things? And that's not a question I need an answer to. But it just, I just want, we have to pray. We have to stay in prayer. We have to stay in God's word. We have to focus on making a better way. If we feel like our lives have been, messed up and there's no change in it, which is not true, make a difference for your child's life. Make a difference for someone else, another child's life. Make a difference for someone else younger coming up. These kids are being taught worse things. They're being taught everything that is not. I sit and I write down things that I want to either do poetry about or spoken word, and I came up with The Minute Before. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but I'm focusing on that. That's what I'm focusing on right now. But we're not teaching our kids, and we're not focusing on training ourselves to not be so quick to judgment. If you take 2 seconds before you say something, if you do if you think just a little bit before you do something, do you know a lot of things could be different? A lot of things could be turned around, could have been turned around, could have been different, could have been better. But because this world has made us selfish and just cold and defensive and hateful, and someone can say one thing, and it's really not, because when we grew up, we were told sticks and stones may hurt your bones, but words will never harm you. We were taught things, so what if you go home and you got in a fight and you told your mom because she called me and you'd get in trouble, you'd get a whooping. You got in a fight at school and got in trouble because someone called you a name. Who cares? Are you that name? That's what they used to say. Are you fat? No. Then what? Yeah, we got those kind of messages. We don't give those messages out anymore. We don't tell kids that it's still not okay to call. We don't care if they say your mama's fat. We don't care if whatever they say. They don't even know your mother. They don't know anybody in your family. They don't know nothing. So why is a word going to make you react so horrible that maybe somebody's not here anymore? And this, I'm talking to adults, because that's where the kids learn it from. You don't let nobody disrespect you. You show them who you are. You tell them, you make them give you respect, because you're the, and then we teach them that this is what makes you a man, and then to have people fear you, and so you'd rather spend 400 years in prison than to have people out here thinking you're a sissy, or, because I'm not using those other words, or than to have a group of people stand around and somebody call you a name in front of all these people. You rather spend the rest of your life locked up somewhere, can't do nothing ever again, can't see your kids, can't see your wife, can't breathe out fresh air, can't go anywhere you wanted to, your kids will be maybe raised by someone else, and you'll never see them walk across a stage or anything, because how dare someone call you something that you're, how dare they make people think that you're a punk or soft or whatever. I don't know. I'd rather say, yep, I am. Have a good day, and go to my home and live my life the way I want to. I don't know. That's just me. We have grown so far from the love and the understanding and the peace that we were raised with. I know that we were raised with. The errors aren't that far apart where you were still being taught morals and values and God's word. Because I don't care I don't care what you say. If you're black, your grandmother took you to church, your mama took you to church, in different areas, in errors. I hope that people are still, people slip off. I know a lot of young girls probably may not, but I know there's some that do, because that's what they were done. They were taken to church and had to go to church and do, this and that. So I still know that, there are kids who still do this. I find that the kids that have these type of attitudes where, their life is just being, doing what they do in the street, is because that's what their uncle did, that's what their brothers did, that's what their father probably maybe did, so they just follow a pattern, and there's nobody that tells them that you have to do something different, or you need to do something different. I knew a family who was proud of, they would say, my uncle's this, and everybody knew his uncle. They like to sit and tell stories about how he's in prison because triple this, and these are stories that they tell because that's all they know, or that's what they were raised to know, to talk about, to be proud of. And then if you're a young black man, and you carry around an instrument, and you are in ROTC, and you get good grades, and you don't act out in class, and you don't fight, and you don't do those things, then you're a nobody. You're picked on. You're called names. You're the G word. You're everything but a child of God, because we've made it. Society's made it wrong to be right. Made it wrong to want to be somebody. Made it wrong to not want to harm anyone or take anyone's property because it doesn't belong to us, or to not want to pull a gun on a scared older lady and steal her car, or to not want to break in someone's house while they're asleep and call. We have, the world is upside down, and what I mean about that is that we have turned it around to make wrong right, to make no sense out of wrong, to follow the devil's orders, to believe in him, to do his will so long that we don't even see that it's wrong to do these things, that it's not good, it's not what you should be doing. It's just natural for you to do it, and you don't even think about it. You see something, you don't have the money to get it, so you take it. You see something, you want something, you don't have money, you put a gun to somebody's head and take their money. It's not, you don't have to think about it, because there's no wrong is right. If you can understand that, I'm scared. I understand it, but I know that wrong isn't right. I just understand that because of the world and the evil and the way the world is getting worse, that this concept will become, made true. I mean, it's true. For the government shows us that. And they have the nerve to throw it in our faces. We used to, they used to hide stuff from us and used to make, we didn't know really. Well, and we didn't have social media, but we used to didn't know a lot of stuff. Now we know, and they don't care if we know. So we just go walk around and act like that's the way of the world. Wrong is right. We don't even stand up for anything. March or anything, because wrong is right. We've seen it so long that it's just a normal thing. So when we say it's right, we know it's not. We know it's wrong, but that's just how it is. We get to see, things happen to us, and it's just another. I mean, that's how it is. We should expect it. We should know that's what's going to happen. You can't change it. But the main thing is, if you are a people who suffer the same wrongs, who live in the same pile of whatever they decide to throw you in, and you all go through this together, what makes you want to do this, to be your brother's jailer? What makes you want to step on him too? Why do we want to step on each other? Why do we want to see each other down? Why do we want to see harm to our own? We're already being harmed. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to you're helping, and you don't even see that that's the plan. That was the design. Because you know how people, this is what people do. If you want somebody to not do something, tell them the opposite. And that's the truth. And especially if you're dealing with somebody who is who doesn't even know that they have. And I don't like to I don't like labels of people. They call you narcissist, blah blah blah. They call you all these different things. It's just sin. It's just evilness that seeps through the whole world. It's you breathe it in. You eat it. It's all around. It gets in your pores. You watch it every day. You hear it every day, and it gets inside you. It changes you. If you don't have protection, it takes over you. So there are people out there who say nobody is going to tell me what to do. You're not going to tell. No one tells me what to do. And they're so far in it, they don't understand that they're being told what to do. But that's really how you try it. If you want someone to go your way, just tell them the opposite. They're so fixated in being their own person and not following the rules and not letting anybody determine their life, that they don't even see how they've already been manipulated into being told what to do and how to do it. And I don't have any answers. I don't know. There really isn't any answers but God. That's the only answer that there is. The only answer is to serve the Lord. He's your only protection. He's your only protector. He's the only one who doesn't want anything from you except your love and your obedience. He's the only one who will love you unconditionally. He doesn't care that you've turned your back on him several times. And he's the only one who really cares if you live. There's people in your life that love you. They're your family. They're supposed to love you, But you find out sometimes that they don't even love you. I mean, how can that be true when a mother takes their 2-week-old baby and unalives it? The baby that they just carried for 9 months and pushed out and was overwhelmed with joy at the cries of their baby that they're supposed to love and cherish, and now they're gone. So you can't even depend on even being really loved by your own family. But the only thing you can depend on is knowing that God loves you, even if you don't love him. And the only one way to make it to an everlasting life is through him. You're going to have bumps in the road here on this earth, on this sinful earth, evil earth. But if you have him in your life, if you have him, if you're on his side, if you are doing his will, you have protection. Some of those bumps will smooth out. Some of that pain will go away. Some of that evil will wash out. That evil will be washed away through Jesus's blood. It won't be able to penetrate. The air that you breathe that's full of hate, God will breathe into you a fresher air, better air. He'll make you feel good about yourself. He'll make you feel that you're somebody and you're special, and you don't have to have someone beat you down, and because you think that's all you deserve, or you don't have to want to change your looks or change your body because you don't feel beautiful, because God told you you were beautiful and he made you that way. And God doesn't make anything, he doesn't make mistakes, he doesn't mess up the plan, he doesn't lie, he doesn't betray you, he doesn't do any of those things. If you could just sit and think about your life, what you've done, what you're doing now, what you want to do in the future, what accomplishments you've made, what positive things you've said, or what help you've done, and what good encouragement you've given someone, and what special thing you said to somebody that looked like maybe they needed a friend or needed a kind word. Or can you say that you are a part of the changing or the goodness or making things better for people's lives? Or are you the one who wants to remind them that they're not so attractive, they're not the ideal body size, or they're nothing because they don't have a good job or can't afford this? Or just, where are you stand? Where are you at? Does it make you feel good to make somebody else not feel good? Are you the one who, when you're in a group of people and a group of people are making fun of one person and everybody's laughing, are you the one laughing? Or are you the one who sees or may hear the pain, and you want that person's pain to go away, and so you sacrifice your pain for theirs? You might say something, you might stand up and say something. And so what you do there is you let that person, you might not know them, but you let that person know that people do care about them, because maybe they've never, someone took up for me, little old nothing, nobody, me. And then what you did is you made a group of some people think, yeah, why are we laughing at him or her? Why are we making fun? It's not fun to get laughed at or talked about or have a group of people bullying you. or maybe you upset one of those people, because that's their job. That's what they do all the time. That's what they do. They make people feel bad about themselves. They make people laugh at other people because they don't want it turned around at them. And so they tell you, they turn it around on you. Well, if we're not going to laugh at him, we're going to turn it around on you. But you can handle yourself. You don't have to get out of line. You don't have to say bad things to that person. You don't have to even really talk. Hey, brother, I was just saying, I don't know. I didn't think it really was funny to talk about that person because they can't walk, or that person has one eye. I didn't think it was really funny. I don't know. That's just me. No harm. I don't want no smoke. That's our favorite. I don't want no smoke. That usually calms people down. Because, usually when you say, I don't want no smoke, people think you're afraid of them. That means I don't want to have to battle you, because, you're tough. So I don't want no smoke. So usually when you say that, that calms them down, because they're like, yeah, that's what I thought. You don't want no smoke with me. You can just see the pattern. You can just learn how to maneuver in life, because the pattern of people, they will show you who you're dealing with, or they'll show you, and then that gives you the opportunity not to have to be around them. Because I'm certainly not going to be around people who at any minute want to snap on me because they don't like that. People don't like independent people. If you're in a group of people and they're all doing, or one person might run the show, and so everybody follows whatever that person does. So if it's time to talk about people or make people upset or scream and holler at people, that's what we're going to do today. And anybody who does not participate is the enemy. And so they don't like you because they've got their agenda. They already got these people lined up. They might not all know that's what they do, but that's what they do. And here you come. Who are you to make people think, or to want to ask themselves, yeah, why do we, when this person says jump, we jump? Why? And so we don't want you changing what we got going on here. So we're going to make you uncomfortable. We don't want you here. Or you either conform, or we make your life miserable, or whatever you want. Pick whichever you want. I tell you, I'm tired of this world. And when you've been here a long time, you've seen all the different things, and you can remember when there was a so-called good time, when life was better, when life was good, when you were a child, you got to be a child. The grass smelled better. When it rained, you could smell the rain. The food tastes better. Water tastes better. You got to be innocent. You didn't hear all these nasty stories, and you didn't see all these nasty things. When you got to hear, when someone showed you or stole a little picture, a book from your grandpa's stash or your whatever, and y'all seen this, and all you seen was boobs, and y'all laughed about it, because that was all that you didn't know. Because now they can see, not only can they see boobs, they can see the whole body, they can see the act, they can see animalism, bestiality, they can see whatever they want to see, they can see. So there is no innocence unless you hover over them to make sure they get to keep their innocence. You send them out to school and they're violated. Send them out in the streets and they're violated. This world is not going to change for the good. Trump, I don't care how many times he says, make America great again. America's never going to be great. I don't think it ever was great. I don't care if he says we're going to lower taxes, you're going to get benefits for this. I don't care whatever you think is going to make your pockets fatter, or you take a little bit more home, pay home. It's not going to change how evil the world is, how evil the world is going to get. Their enemy is going to become your enemy. Their war is going to become your war. You're stuck in the middle because you're of what they've designed. We didn't get to make any plans. We didn't get to write any legislature. We didn't get to make any laws. We didn't get to appropriate any funds. We didn't get to build or make any rules. None of those. We have to live with what we are told, what we're given. We have to obey or be punished. You either do what they say or you suffer the consequences. And I mean that's not really, I mean as far as law, and that's God's law also. And I follow God's law first. So God says do not kill. That's a law. That's not man's law. He didn't say that. He didn't say do not kill. That's God's law that man is upholding sometimes, or supposed to be upholding. Do not steal. That all came from God. That's not they didn't make them law. They didn't make that up. They want you to they want to act like they did, that they told you not to do. This is what you're not going to do. That's what God said not to do. His punishment is going to be way more harsher than to spend a couple of years in jail or whatever, or be on probation for 50 years. I don't know. But yeah, his punishment's going to be far worse. So I don't keep them laws because you said so. I keep them because God said that they're wrong and that I am to follow what he said. That's what he tells me not to do. Whatever he tells me not to do is what I don't do. You can't really, other than the laws that you're holding up for God, you can't really tell me anything else, because you're just like me. God said we're all sinners and we all fall short, because there's no king, no, that's what they call themselves, president, that's what they are, but they're still sinners and fall short. So if you tell me that I can't walk down this street, because this is a street where all these houses you see are here, these are all owned by abiding citizens, and their skin color doesn't match yours. So we don't like to see you on our street. We don't want you here. Now, I can choose to follow your law or your so-called law, because really I don't think there's a law on the books. Could be that you can't work, certain people can't walk down certain streets. Those are really just made up laws that people try to enforce. But God told me I can walk anywhere. He made the world. He didn't tell me. I'm sure there's places that he, because of the way the world is, that he doesn't want me to be, and that's only for my safety or my well-being or whatever. But he never said that some of these places are for special people and you're not allowed. He said this, he created everything for everyone. Just people make rules about, you know, what you can, where you can be in. And what I suggest, because you know I still do have a little militant. I used to be really militant, and it was not a, it can be more harmful to you than good. I've learned now that you are not going to be able to win every single battle. You're not going to win. You're not going to be able to fight every fight. You're just going to have to rely on God. Let him do your battles. Let him fight your fights for you. Because you're not going to be able, yeah, you might have pride, and you're going to stand up and you're going to tell them, I'm not going to sit down and take it. You're not going to treat me like I'm nothing. You're not going to tell me that I'm not. Yeah, I can be that type. I can be that person. That's who Malcolm X was. That's who Martin Luther King was. That's who Medgar Evers was. That's who Fred Hampton was. That's who a lot of people were. That's who Stephen Biko was. I love that movie. They stood up because they believed no matter if they died, they stood up for the belief that they have the right to live the same way as everybody else. But at this moment, the only thing that really matters is making it to heaven. I can't, you can't, everyone can't fight every battle, can't just take on the world. So me fighting and winning the battle is me turning to God and being able to make it to kingdom where I can live without any of this, without danger, without health problems, without crime, without death, without sin, without persecution, without violation, without temptation, without anything that causes my life, causes my mind and my heart and my body to be ravished, to shrivel up and wish I was gone. Sometimes people can't take so much, can only take so much. Like the poor child, poor girl. She's only 20. She just didn't know. She didn't understand. Her mind couldn't release her. She was fighting within herself. And she wasn't winning on, she couldn't find what the good was, where it was. where to find it, how to keep it. She couldn't find that in her mind. And so she ended it because she didn't want to live in a world where all she was a woman who really didn't matter, or whose name really isn't going to ring a bell anywhere, whose life really isn't going to be made a movie about because of that, really doesn't have the opportunity to just be because of. And that's the saddest thing. The saddest thing is we have to really believe that. We have to just accept and live, just go as far as we think we're allowed to, and if we're, making it, then that's good enough. We don't need to stretch out any further. And I'm rambling and I'm going on, and this is just for me, because I just have things that go through my mind, just races about different things, about people and life, and how to stop the hurt, and what we can do. And I can't we can't I can't find just the solid answer that this is going to stop, that we're not going to hear about any black men being pulled over and then accidentally being unalived because a policeman was in fear of their life, or we're not going to hear any more about children missing, and we're not going to hear about babies and little kids being unalived by their parents in horrific ways, and we're not going to cry anymore. I can't guarantee that we're not going to see young black men unaliving each other because someone said something that someone didn't like, and that someone said that so-and-so said it first, and that they wasn't the one who said it because they were, and then 7 people from that one thing that somebody said, and we're not quite sure which somebody said it. Those 7 people are gone. Nobody really knows why. I can't fathom a grown man violating an 8-month-old baby, and she doesn't make it. She passes away. Or I can't fathom people kidnapping babies and selling them to predators who have a group of men, or in this secret society that want to do things to babies, or that the devil says if you eat flesh or drink blood that you'll become immortal, or you'll become wealthy, or you'll become powerful. I can't fathom people who have this type of a mind. I can't even fathom. When you go outside your house, what eyes that fall on you. These eyes could be the eyes of the You know, you walk and the only thing I really think of is where I'm going. If I catch eyeballs with someone or whatever, good morning, sir, good morning, hello, hi, how are you, whatever. That's really the only. But do you know that you meet people or you see people, you don't even have to meet them. You might catch their eyes and you don't even know that that person unalives people, or you don't know that that person that you caught their eyes, in their head they're thinking what they would want to do to you. Good thing we can't read minds, huh? Well, maybe it isn't a good thing. If you could hear what somebody said, maybe they'll be thinking about how many people they unalived last night, and you can call, I don't know. But no, it's a good thing you can't read people's minds. I sometimes wonder if anybody even cares anymore. Well, I know the people care, but it's just that who has enough strength to even try to take on the next thing, the next time, the next. And that's why I know that it's coming to an end. Nobody even has, strength enough to do. I see a bunch of broken people. I see a bunch of broken people who are tired, who have given up, who don't even want to deal with it anymore. You know those people. You don't know their names, but you know them. Those people that just hold on to their job and just sometimes, most of the time, keep themselves full of a substance that just lets them not have to think about other things, terrible things, or not having to care about or just worry about. Just stay high, so they life just passes by and you just get by until till maybe you're gone, or till maybe something better comes along. I know a lot of people play lottery hoping that they win millions of dollars, but have spent maybe their whole livelihood of money away trying to get there. Or I know people who feel the only way I'm going to feel better is to make people think I'm better. So I'm going to accumulate all of these materialistic things that I can't afford, and have people say, good things about me, but inside, when I'm inside, I'm trying to figure out how to hold on. I don't even make enough money to pay for to afford all of these things. And that's the world. That's the world that we live in. That's the world that we live in. But you don't have to be in this world. You don't have to accommodate evil. You don't have to be around evil and fall in line because you live here. God already says you can live in the world, but not of the world. That's what he told you, and you do. You don't have to live in the world. You don't have to follow along with what everybody else says or does. You don't have to buy the best, because that's what the best people have, and that's what that lets you know that you've made it. And made it for what? Made what? Made whatever. You don't have to. When you free your mind of all of the evil, let God take over your mind. Your mind is so you're free to think about. You're free to be able to think about good things and not think that you're weird, or you're able to think about planting a garden and not having people think you're trying to be white. Because people put labels. What is trying to be white, or what is trying to be black, or what is trying to be? Do you think white people are the only ones? Black people were the first ones who planted food. We are so brainwashed. We take ourselves out of everything. Black people invented math. So if you're good at math, you're not trying to be white. If you're trying to get good grades, you're not trying to be white. That's just because you're smart. You don't have to be. If you're intelligent, you don't have to try to be anything. That's what you are. If you talk a certain way, that's just how you talk. You don't have to try and be anything. You're being yourselves. But that's the plan. That was the ideal plan, to have you so confused with yourself, of who you are, of where you are, where you've been, where you're going, that you're just going around in circles, and your mind is just gone. I'm not trying to be anything but a child of God who's on their way to heaven. I'm trying to make it to heaven. So I'm not going to worry about who calls me what, who says who I am. You can think whatever I am. That's on you. If you want to waste time to care about some stranger who you don't know and you won't probably never know, if you want to just try to figure out what they are and who they are, that's on you, because I don't have time to. All I care about is if you're okay, if you want to reach out to God, if you're being harmed, I don't care if you're doing anything else, because all I know is if I can reach out to you and give you God's good word, that God will do the rest. I don't care who you're sleeping with. I don't care anything, what you eating. I don't care what you're wearing. I don't care about any of that. God didn't say there's a good sinner. God didn't say that you're just a little, if you just sin a little bit, that you're okay, you're better, you're okay, you're on the right side. None. He didn't say any of that. He makes it plain. He doesn't play games. He doesn't keep you guessing. This isn't a guessing game. It's not a truth or dare. It's not a anything. He keeps it plain. Keep my word. Follow me. Love thy brother. Keep the commandments. Do not watch what you say. Watch what you think. Watch what you do. Do not do harm to anyone. Do not have blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. Do just whatever he's telling you. He's telling you straight. These are the things to get to heaven. And then he gives you, these are the things that will not get you in heaven. And he makes it plain. You might not like those. You might not like to hear those, or you might not like to read those, or you don't want people to say those things. But that's what he says. You can't get around it. Whoremongers, adulterers, homosexuality, fornicators, liars, blasphemy, uh, um, what is it? When you lust, when you desire things people have, when all those things go down the list. He has it listed. It's not in any kind of language that you can't understand. He doesn't put it in a crossword puzzle and you have to guess the words. He has it. He has a list, and he lists and he tells you plain, that wasn't my list. Because what I can tell you is I have a best friend who's homosexual. I don't get in his face. I don't tell him that he's not going to heaven. I do not say that I don't say anything to that person. I say, seek the Lord in all that you do. Because I'm a sinner. He can tell me I fornicated. So I'm not a judger. I don't care. I don't judge anybody's life. I don't put you in a pile of whatever sin. I do none of that. I just am trying to be what God wants me to be. And I guess what I can say is I will probably talk again. I don't know when it hits me, but it just sometimes it just hits me like, is there someone somewhere alone who doesn't believe, or just wants to hear something, just wants to know that somebody cares, or just wants to know somebody is going through the same thing, and what did they do, and how did it help, what helped them, and or something, or just something. So with that being said, I hope everyone is just doing okay. I had heard in the YouTube streets about a guy that I'd known in a chat. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, I pray that he gets better. I pray for his family. I pray, for anyone who's going through any hard things, or any hard times, or going through any death, or going through any illness. I just pray for them, and I mainly pray that they are able to get their lives together with God, like, soon. You don't want to leave here. I'll just say, I don't want to leave here and not have my life right with God. I hope everyone stays blessed and have a great weekend. Love yourselves and love others.